Hello everybody. In this screencast we're going to go over evaluation or assessment number 3, which mainly focuses on scrollable lists, list views and recycler views. You are given it's a budget simple budgeting application. There is a list of expenses that's hosted in the main activity, and then you're displaying the expenses on the budget list. You can add an expense, and then you can pick a category, which is a list view. You pick one of the items, and then you also have a priority that you can pick also, which is an extended adapter for the list view. Similarly, you have, this is the budget list, which is a recycler view, and you are given all the layouts. You're given even the layouts for the row items, for the budget list, for the select priority, and then you have an expense summary when you click on one of these items. So let's look at the rubric. So it says that start by select category. So basically I took the skeleton app, ran it, and you click on add new, takes you here. You click on category, takes you here, and you click on cancel, you go back, you click on priority and cancel. So let's build the category fragment. So if you look at what's provided, so we go here under fragments, there is the select category fragment. All right, and we know that it should look like something like this, where it's a single text entry, right? So basically it's a simple layout. So basically I'll use the simple list item 1 that Android provides, and I'll basically don't have to build any adapter. Basically I'll just use the default adapter. All right, so if I look at the select fragments, you see here there is get categories, and this is if I go here, go to implementation of it, get categories, returns back an array list of string, and these are the categories that you are getting back. Go back here, there's data class that's provided that gives you this data. Now I go here and I create the adapter, array adapter of string, because these items are strings. And then basically let me just disable the autocomplete from GitHub Copilot, so disable the completions. Here is adapter equals to new array adapter, and then basically gets the context, get context, comma, and then the layout, which is android.r.layout.simplelist_item1, and then what are my items? It's called m categories, which are these. So basically these m categories are, it's a static method which gets you categories. You have them in a list, array list, and so on. So now if I go here and I just go binding dot list view dot set adapter to adapter, now if I do that and run the app, it should display the list of items. So if we go here and we pick add new category, here are the list of categories. When I click on one of them, there is, if you see here, there is a listener that I could call on category selected, and that should send the category back to the create expense fragment. So basically here I'll go and set up the on item click listener, binding.listView.set on item click listener, new on item click listener. Now let me pick what category did you pick. So string category equals to m categories.get at position. All right, so that gets me the category, and then m listener dot on category selected. Here is the category. So now if we run this app now, you will see that I am now able to go pick a category. Category comes back, select, let's say housing, and you see housing here, select that, healthcare, and you click on saving and investment, and so on. So basically I'm done with the category part, and that's the first part of the rubric. So if you go all the way up in the rubric, you will see that select categories is done. So now let's do select priority. So basically select priority is very similar, but we have to extend the adapter because the layout looks a little bit more involved. There are two text fields, all right, so, or text views. So if you look at the layouts that are provided, there is a layout called simple list item priority. Here it is, and basically it has two text views, 1 and 2. All right, so let's use that. So we go back here and we go into select priority fragment, and you see here there is also an array list of priorities. The priorities is a class called priority. So let's go to implementation. The priority has a name and a description. So the first text view will display the name, and the second one will display the description. So now let's create an adapter. This is a little bit more involved. So we'll create a class. We'll call it the priority adapter, extends array adapter of type priority. Here it is. And then basically this needs a constructor create a constructor. There are so many of them. I'll pick the one that has the list, which is going to be this one. All right, here's the one that has the list. And then basically the method that I would like to implement is the on or get view. Get view, and boom, here's the get view. And I know get view, this is all boilerplate code. We are going to return the convert view. Here is that. Now we also said that we are going to use the layout called list item expense. So basically I'll do list item expense binding. I call it item binding. Here it is. And basically we'll check to see if convert view is equal to null. Then we are going to do item binding. Let's inflate that. So list view item binding dot inflate get inflator comma parent comma false. All right, all of this is boilerplate again. And then convert view equals item binding dot get root, and then convert view dot set tag to item binding. All right, cool. So we are done with that. And then we go here and say item binding equal convert view dot get tag. All of this is boilerplate code, right? And here we are. We are here. We just cast this here, and we're good. Now, because I used binding, makes my life easier. So I'll do. Let me get the priority that I picked. So priority. This is the one they're trying to get item at position. So that's the priority I would like to display here. Item binding dot text view. Text. Did I do something wrong here? I used the item binding expense binding. No, I need list item binding the priority one, right? So this one. All right, here we are. So then there is a text view, priority name dot set text name dot set text to priority dot get name. Priority dot get name. Right, and then similarly item binding dot text view priority description dot set text to priority dot get description. All right, cool. So that's get description, and that finishes my adapter. Here's the adapter. Now what I'm going to do is here we will do the following. We'll set up the adapter. So here's the adapter equal new adapter, and it needs get context comma, and then the resources r.id layout list item priority, and then the items are m priorities. This is get me the adapter, and then binding dot list view dot set adapter to adapter. So here it is. And then we'll do the on item click listener. So we'll go here binding dot list view dot set on item click listener new, and here we are. And then basically m listener dot on items all selected. So I'll do m priorities dot get at position. All right, so that takes care of the full cycle of going from add to selecting a priority and then coming back with a priority that you picked. So here it is, add new, pick up a priority, let's say very high, and we get very high here. We pick this one, we get low, we get very low, category, here's the category, and we're good to go. So basically we have the select priorities also implemented. All right, so we are done here. Now let's go finalize the add expense fragment, which is the third part of the rubric, which is the third part is the add expense. Finish it, send the data back, add it to the array list, and we're good to go. All right, so let's add expense. We're here. Now we are just finalizing the on submit. So basically if we look at the app, you have a name, you have an amount. So let's get the name. String name equal to binding dot text edit text name dot get text dot to string. So that's the name. And then basically also I want the amount string, so I'll call it amount str. That's the string amount. And then we can check now to see if name is empty. Then I'm going to show a toast. This is just validation, so get context, enter valid name. Right, so that's basically just a validation. Else if let's do else, and then do a try catch for the amount. So basically I can do a try and then catch to change it into a double number format exception ex, and we're good here. And then basically we'll do double amount equal to double dot value of amount dot str. So that's this. Here we are. If everything goes well, otherwise we'll just say enter valid number or enter valid amount, a valid amount. Okay, now here we have an amount to just check to see if selected category is equal to null. Then we're going to show an alert dialog again, alright, or a toast. Else if selected priority is equal to null, we're going to show also another toast. And then finally, this means everything looks good. We are going to do the creation of the expense object and send it back to the main activity through the interface. Scroll down a little bit here, you see here on expense selected, on add expense, that's what we're going to call. Alright, so now if this, let's just add these toast messages. Here we are, we'll say select a category, select a category, right, here it is. And then similarly this one, select a priority, okay. Otherwise, let's say we go here and we create an expense. We'll go to the expenses and so on, but that's what we are doing here. Now if you look at the models and look at expense, you see there is a constructor that takes these values. Let's go back here. So there is a constructor here that I'm going to use. Here's the constructor for the expense that I'm going to use. Alright, now if everything looks good, I'll say an expense, create an expense equal new expense, pass it the name, the selected category, the amount, then the priority, the selected priority. I have that mlistener dot on add expense, and I pass it the expense. Alright, cool. So now once you receive the expense, we need to add it to the array list in the main activity. So if we go here to the main activity, and you will see on add expense, first of all we need to add it to mexpenses dot add expense. Alright, this is what the rubric says, and then you pop the backstack. So basically get support fragment manager dot pop backstack, and we're good to go. Alright, so if we look back here, you say add it, load it here, and we're good to go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I put a breakpoint. I don't have the layout for the first screen done, completed, because I don't have a recycler view there. But I will put a breakpoint here, and then I would like to see the expenses objects. Now, notice something also, that I have created this 3 expenses that get added to the expenses array list automatically. You know, when you start. Let's close this, add a new. Let's say we click submit. It's going to say enter a name. Let's say test. And let's say we click on submit, says pick an amount. Let's say we pick an amount, say 100. Okay. And I click submit, says pick a category, enter valid amount. So it's not happy with the amount, so submit. Enter valid amount. So what did I do here to make it enter valid amount str? Oh, here it is. This is edit text amount, right? Run this again. Let's run it again. Okay, so here we are. We pick add, and this is test, and let's say 100, and I click on submit, and it says enter a category, pick a category. Let's say groceries, submit, and priority, pick a priority, click submit, and then it goes here. It goes in here, and if you look at M expenses, it's an array list that has 4 items. The first 3 were added initially, and then this is the one we just added, which has an amount, a category, test, and a priority. The priority is high, and here is name is high. This is the description. So it seems things are going well. We are able to get here, and let's run this again and go back. So basically I am able to do this one, and then the third one is you retrieve the list, the budget list fragment. You retrieve the list from the main activity, and then you create the adapter and show the total budget. So now if you look at the app, at the top of the app, we would like to display the list of items like this, the budget list or the expense list, and we want to show the total budget. Okay, cool. So all these layouts are already made for us, you know, the layout itself. So now if we go back to the budget list fragment, here it is. And if you look at the adapter at the bottom, there is get all expenses. So basically when I go back to the main activity, get all expenses, what does it do? So where is get all expenses here? Get all expenses. Get all expenses returns to you the list which has the expenses. Okay, good. So now we are here. Now, so I would like to get these expenses here and use them. So I'm going to create an array list expenses, and I call it m expenses equal new array list, just to start off with something. When the app, when the view is created, I'll just say m expenses equal m listener dot get all expenses. So basically I have all the expenses like this, or I can do it like this. I could say, for example, m expenses dot clear, and then m expenses dot add all. I'll just create a copy of the ones here. So I have two copies now, one inside the activity and one inside the fragment. So here is I have the expenses. Now let's go and build our adapter. So now just something to keep in mind. The layout is already created, which is called list item expense. List item expense, here it is. It has the name, it has the amount, category, and priority. And there is a trash can icon for you to delete, right? So now, all right, so let's go and create a recycler view adapter. So here is a class. We call it, maybe we call it expenses adapter extends recycler view dot adapter, and it needs a view holder, and then class expenses view holder extends recycler view dot view holder. There's that. And then I'm going to go into the view holder and implement the constructor, and here it is. This is the view holder. I stick it here, and then we go in, import the class, we go in, and there are three methods that we need to implement, and here we are. So we have the three methods of the adapter. This one is going to be m listener, m expenses dot get size or size. All right. So now here I'm going to use binding. So it's called item row item. What did we call it? List item. Sorry, list item expense binding, called item binding equal new. Oh, sorry, equal to list item binding dot inflate get inflator get layout inflator parent false. Right. So I have that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass this to the view holder. So I'm going to change the constructor for the view holder to receive a binding instead, and then I will handle that situation here. This all boilerplate again. Okay, this dot item binding equal to item binding. So basically now I could go here and say new view holder with item binding, and we're good to go with this one. And then here we need to create a bind method. So I'll go here. I know I have to delete, so I'll get a copy of the expense that I would like to keep so that I can delete. Void on or outside bind, and I'm going to send you an expense, and we go from here, and I'm going to store it here, expense m expense, and here we are. All right, so m expense equal to expense. Okay, and then we'll do item binding dot image view delete dot set on click listener new. This is for the deletion. Item binding dot text view amount dot set text, and let me just enable this to speed up this process a little bit. So here we are, m expenses. No, so basically I'll do string dot format, and we go from here. And this is not what I would like to do. Percentage f, and I would like it to be $200.00. Right, so I would like to format it as, all right. Item binding dot text view amount dot set text. All right, I would like it to be format the amount as like this, item binding dot text view amount dot, here we are. That's how we format the amount. Here's the amount. Okay, now we show the amount, we show the name, item binding dot text view name dot set text, here it is, item binding dot text view category dot set text expense dot category, item binding get priority dot get name of the priority. Okay, perfect. So we have that all done, taken care of in the adapter. On view holder, so here we are, we'll do holder dot bind, here it is, get at position. We have the expenses adapter, here we are, and I am going to create a variable here, call it adapter. All right, here we are. And then basically when we are here, I'm going to say adapter dot adapter equal new expenses adapter recycler view binding dot recycler view dot set layout manager new linear layout manager get context. We're good here. Binding dot set adapter, and we're good. So basically if I do this, I should be able to see the expense adapter. So let's run this and see. So stop this, run here, show the running devices, and here is the adapter. Perfect. So now I have the adapter. Let's do the total budget. Total budget is just you count all the total budget. Okay, so I know that I'm going to use this many times because every time you delete, you have to recompute the budget again. So I'll do a private void setup budget amount, and basically here it is. So basically double total equal to 0. Let me disable completion just for the time being. I'll create a double variable, call it total equal to 0.0, and then for each expense item, all right, each expense in expenses, so we can call it each expense in expenses. What I'm going to do is I'm going to the total equal total plus expense dot amount. All right, here we are. And then basically what we are going to do at the end is we're going to display it. So to display what? The total. So I can copy that stuff from here, Control C, and paste it here. But then here I can do binding dot text budget total, and what we will do is we'll say total budget equals, so basically we go here, okay, total budget is this, okay, and then this becomes the total. So here this one is our total, there it is. That's, and then when we call this, we call it, let's say when we are setting up our first adapter here, and boom. So basically when we run this, you will see that it will automatically calculate the budget amount here, because that's the, it will sum up these numbers. Okay, we're good. I think we're good. So now this is done. We're able to get the budget list, the total displayed, and so on. Now the trash can. So when we delete it, we need to delete it from the local list here, and we need to delete it from the array, from the activity, and we need to refresh the list. Okay, good. That's very easy. So we have already the method to do this here. Now to delete it from the local list is very easy. expenses dot remove, and I pass it the expense, which is the value that we are storing in the binding. You see here we're storing it here. Similarly, there is listener dot remove dot delete expense, and I said and send it also expense, and we need to see if this method is implemented. Then we do notify dataset has changed, and then maybe we can do budget, set a budget amount because we deleted one of them, and so on. So now if we go back to the main activity, the delete expense is very easy. You are sent an expense, so basically let's delete it from here. Expenses dot remove expense. All right, we just remove it from here. Clear all, you see this is to clear all, so expenses dot remove all, or clear removes everything, right? Just to keep in mind, because I think this is the next one. So let's run it. Here we are, and here we are. Let's delete the rent. You see here it's deleted. Let's delete this one, and let's delete this one. So now we can add a new one. Let's say test, and I'll do enter the amount. Let's say 123. Pick a category, groceries. Let's pick a priority high, and submit, and I have 1, 2, 3. Here is the category, and I can delete and so on. So basically I am able to delete. Let's now do clear all, so which is very easy also here because it's not in the adapter, and basically it's here, clear all dot clear expenses, and then I need to also do expenses dot clear, and then basically I'll say adapter dot notify dataset has changed, and similarly set up budget amount. So let's run this now, and when you clear all, we'll clear all, and we're good to go. So here it is, and we clear all, and the budget is cleared. All right, so we're done with the clear all also. So basically this is the trash can, the clear all. Okay, good. So now when you click on ascending and descending is also very easy. So to sort in general, let's say we want to sort in ascending order, we'll say collections dot sort, and then we do expenses, right? And then basically expenses, and then here we do a new comparator, right? We have E1 minus E1 and E2, and we are doing the sorting by amount. Okay, so basically it's E1, return E1 minus E2 dot get amount, and then similarly here dot get amount, and now it's not that happy, so it get amount, and now it wants to know when you we need to cast it to an integer, right? So basically need to be a little bit careful here, because so basically one other option is to do if else statement, because it's okay just to subtract them, but you want the sign, right? So basically what we could do is we can let's say if E1 dot get amount, or we could do, for example, if E1 dot get amount minus E2 dot get amount is greater than 0, then return something, else if, and we can go from there, just have an if else statement. Right, here we are, else return 0. Okay, here's return 0, here return 1, and then here return minus 1. All right, cool. So basically we can do something like that where we do the comparison. This is greater than 0, maybe if it's less than 0, return minus 1. It's just dependent on the sign, right? So basically we did the sort. Now if we run this, it should sort ascending. So basically the ascending one is done. So when I click on sort ascending is this button. When I click on it, all right, it is sorting in descending order. Okay, so what if so basically if I move this guy from here, put it here, and let's run again. Okay, so here we are. So now when I click on this one, it's already sorted. Interesting. So it is already sorted. So let's say so this sorts already in descending order. So basically this is descending order, right? So now in order to make it sort in ascending order, we just flip these signs. So this becomes -1, this becomes 1. Now we run this again. Now ascending should go from smaller to bigger. So here we are. This is smaller to bigger. I click on it and it's sorted. Oh, it's not showing the sort. Why? Because I need to notify. So adapter dot notify dataset has changed, to tell it that the data has changed. I think what we had at the beginning was the correct one. All right, so let's see. Let's run this again. And you could see that it's, if I click on here, something is sorting it from A to Z, and if you click on this, it's the opposite. So basically from Z to A, it needs to go the other way. So basically here's this, and here is this, and then similarly -1 to 1. Now it should work. All right, so basically all what I did is just changed this sort descending, sort ascending, and you see here I click on sort in descending order, right? And it's in descending order. I click on this one, sort in ascending order, and similarly ascending, descending, ascending, descending, and we're good to go. So we have the sort done, feature done, and now the expense summary. When you click on one of the expense items, you want to calculate and display the sum of the category. So basically if you scroll down here, this is what we're trying to build here. You click on a summary, you need to go to the expenses summary, and you need to send it that expense. You will need to display the name of the expense, the amount of the expense, the category of the expense, and the total amount of that category, and the priority. Okay, cool. So let's say we start off like this. I want to send, so basically let's send it to the activity. So if you look here, there is one here, go to expense summary. So that, where is this going to happen is when you click on an item. When you click on an item, this means it's inside the adapter. So basically I can do item binding dot get root dot set on click listener, new on click listener, and basically here m listener dot go to expense summary, and I pass it the m expense. See, that's how valuable storing that m expense in a local variable inside the holder. Then you can refer to it and so on. In the main activity, let's go to the expense summary fragment. Here it is, and basically we're going to send it an expense, right? So let's make sure of something quickly. The expense is serializable, right? See here, expense object is serializable. Very nice. So we're going to send it at initialization. So I need to implement some of these methods here. So let's say, for example, the parameter, I'll call it expense. The parameter is expense. All right. Here's that. Here's the key. And I'm going to send an expense. Call it m expense. Semicolon. Here it is. Import it. We're good to go here. All right. All of this is boilerplate. We did this before 100 times. There it is. So basically, you're going to send me an expense. Okay, we're good here, and we're going to put serializable, and here's arg expense, and then the other word here is the other parameter is expense. Here we are, and in the on create m expense equal to get arguments get serializable arg param underscore expense. Good. So we got this. Now we need to just cast it, and we're good to go. So basically we are able to pass on the expense. So basically in the main activity, when you go here, we're going to do the same exact thing we did here. Here it is, except that it's not going to use this approach. Instead we'll use the new instance method we just created, expense summary fragment dot new instance, and you send it the expense. So now if this is done, this means that we're able to display everything here, this and this, but not the total. Okay, so let's try to do this like this. So let's go back to the expense fragment and display this. So basically we go here, and I want the rent, after it a comma, a bracket, you put the expense and then you close it. Okay, good. So basically we'll do this. Binding dot text view. Oh yeah, so you see here, it doesn't show the selected amount or name. You need to change the, it's showing the fragment add expense binding, which is the wrong one, wrong binding. We want the fragment fragment summary expense binding. That's the one we are looking at. All right, that's always a mistake on my side, but made things fun. Text view, category and total, all right, or name and total, dot set text, m expense dot get name, all right, and then we add the total between these two brackets. Here we are. Okay, and then we'll do string dot format. Here's the format, percentage. We'll look at it in a little bit, but this needs to be a plus sign here, and then we do m expense dot get amount. Okay, so now this one is the percentage to 20 and so on. We did that before here. That's the format I'm interested in. Here it is. Go back here. Here is the format, and we're good to go. So basically that's the format. Here it is, and get amount. So basically all what I did is just, this is the rent and the amount after it, and then the priority. Let's do the priority, or do binding dot text view. Let's say category dot set text m expense dot get category. All right, so we have the category, and then similarly I would like to do the same thing, but instead of that I want to display another number. So let's see, do it Control C and Control V, and this one says total beside it. Okay, so we'll do total. There's a comma, no commas, but this one is Control X, is total, and then basically I'm just going to put a 0 here. I'm just going to put a 0.00 just for the sake of experimenting, because I don't have this number yet. And then let me show the binding dot priority name dot set text m expense.getName. So that's the name, and then binding.textView the priority description dot set text dot m expenses dot get description get priority dot get description. All right, so basically if I run this, I will be able to display everything except the total for that category, right? Because in order to get the total for the category, I have to do a little bit of math. So I click here, we're here, and it shows the okay, there is the dollar sign we don't need. I'm gonna remove this dollar sign, run it again. All right, here we are. We click here, 750, and it shows 750 rent, and now it's showing rent. We need this one to be m expenses dot get name, no get priority dot get name. All right, that's the name of the priority itself. All right, so we run this, and we're good to go. You will be able to see the rent is 750, very high and essential. Let's go back, and you see here rent, very high, rent, housing. Now we want to know what's the total for housing. So what we can do is we can retrieve the list of items in the fragment, do a little bit of filtering, and count the total for that category, or we can do it in the main activity. So let's say we are here. I can do this here. I can do some summing here. I could say, for example, double total for category equal to 0.0, right? And then I'll do for each expense item in expenses. All right, then I could do if item dot get category equals expense dot get category. So if they are equal, then do the math. Then we'll do total equals total plus item dot get amount. So basically I'm just adding the amount. Now instead of only just sending in the expense, I also want to add that total amount for category, this one, right? So basically I'm going to add also this one. In order to do that, I'll just change this method a little bit so that it accepts a double. I'll call it, for example, cat total category total, right? Or sum, maybe sum, right? And this needs another key. Here's the key, and we can call it an expense. Instead of m expense, we call it, for example, the cat total. Where is that? 1, 2, and then basically args dot put double. There's this comma category sum. There is that, and then basically we need a variable to hold this private double m category sum, right? Here's that, and m category sum equals to get arguments, get double arg, and here's the category sum, and here we are. And then basically this number is what gets to display here. All right, now let's run this. Okay, and you will see that when I click on rent is housing is 150 and 750, which is supposed to be 900. So click here, here's 900, and everything looks okay. Now there's a dollar sign that's missing. We can fix that easy. Here's the dollar sign that's missing. We can also use a string.format just to make sure that things are looking okay. So let's do this here, and this one is going to be m category sum. All right, so I think this should look okay now. Let's run this now, and you will see that it will even be formatted correctly. So we click on, let's say, add new, cancel, sorry. Let's say we pick rent, and here we are. And click on cancel. It's not working. Cancel is just basically just signaling the activity. So now if we go here, you will see that in the add, I think, add expense fragment, if you look at the adapter on cancel add expense fragment, right? So that's just pop the backstack. So if we need to pop the backstack, I can do that very quickly. So basically, let's say we need an interface, public interface. and we can call it expense summary listener, and basically void on cancel expense summary. And basically we go here. The auto completing is not happening. Enable completions. Good. I need to help me here with listener. Here it is on attach, and basically here it is. And then basically we just set up the handler for the button. So it is binding dot button cancel dot set on click listener new. Here it is listener dot on cancel summary. And then the main activity implements this, and we're good to go. Okay, there's that. Okay, go here, implement the methods, there's that, and then we pop the backstack. Good, so now we run this and we're good to go. We have all the features implemented, and you can add new, cancel, pick the transportation. You see transportation, CAS is transportation is the only one, so 220. So both of them are 220, right? And then you click on cancel, goes back, and we're good to go. So please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.